in observing the extreme polarization that goes on in our society, I can't help but wonder where does that stem from, and its relevance, and whether it's helpful at all. And I think our polarization stems from clinging on to duality: bad, good, right, wrong, strong, weak, conservative, liberal. And so I think a lot of our polarization, which is, very obvious, stems from this clinging on to duality and this need to label religious, not religious, spiritual, not spiritual. And my questions are not because I think I have the answers at all. They're just ruminations. And I think, and basically what I'm trying to do is ask better questions. And this is, trust me, it's not coming from a religious perspective. I gave up on organized religion years ago. But as it's not good or bad, it was in my cup of tea. But it doesn't mean it's not someone else's. So my rumination today is in this whole idea of duality and why we cling on to it. I can completely understand its relevance years ago, friend or foe, as a self-preservation mechanism. We needed to know right away, is that person for us or against us? But I question its relevance in today's society: bad, good, activists, non-activists, politically right, politically left. So I question the labels primarily because of the subjectivity, the subjective nature of those labels. Again, what may be seen as bad in one society would be seen as quite heroic in another. So I really question labels. I also question these labels, and I question the need for duality so much, polarization. I question the need for it because behind the labels are actually real people. And I have a hard time believing we're as different from each other as we claim we are, because the bad in someone else, or what's perceived as bad, or what we've cast as bad in someone else, also lies within me. Just as much as the good we've labeled on another. So I really question this duality and the extent of it we have in our society. It stops us from understanding the behavior that we've labeled. And like I said, I'm reluctant to cast the first stone, knowing that the bad that lies in him also lies in me. Not because I think I'm, trying to be deprecating or humble, far from it. But there lies the truth, far from it. And so I question I question the relevance of duality. I could see why it was so convenient for us, or necessary to our existence way back when. But is how necessary, or how much do we need it now? Maybe our identities so wrapped in the label we can't see another alternative. But there always is. And so that's my ruminating for today, is questioning this whole duality. And yet at the same time, I think we need convictions. Because if you don't stand for something, you're likely to fall for anything. And things change through convictions. but that's within us, and I'm not sure we need to, I'm not, how we go about changing things, I think it's best done without the labels, quite honestly. And it always starts with us. And I think convictions are highly necessary. That's why I call it the two faces of duality. I see the obviously convictions are based on real strong ideas about a particular idea. And so I think convictions are highly attractive. They're necessary. Convictions show that we believe in something strongly. But again, I think they can be done without the labels. And the important thing, I think, ultimately, what we all want is for all of us, to express our humanity in a safe way. All of us should feel safe. And if somebody's freedom infringes on mine, then we're still not free. None of us really are. So ultimately, the whole point is to make sure that all of us can live safely. But I'm not convinced duality is the way to do it. Yet when I look at the polarization, I can see how much we still cling on to this need for labeling. And again, ultimately, I think all of us want all of us to feel safe, and to be able to express our humanity as individuals, but not at the extent of the collective or the sense of safety for the collective. We need to stand up for one another who is being targeted purely based on their gender, religious identity, sexuality, skin color. All of us should be able to express our humanity completely and feel safe doing it. But I really wonder whether duality helps us do that. And I mean, let's put our identity on the idea of helping one another reach our potential as individuals rather than under a label. Because I'm not quite convinced that the labels we brandish around against one another or for each other or whatever it is, whether they're really helping in the long run. And that's my ruminating on duality and the two faces of duality.